Have you ever heard of a prophet who devoted his life to delivering God's message, yet was rejected by his own people? A man who wept for Jerusalem, suffered because of his mission, but remained faithful to God until the end? Today we uncover the story of Jeremiah, one of the most important prophets in the Bible. Jeremiah's youth, God's calling. Jeremiah was born around the 7th century BC in a small village called Anathoth, near Jerusalem. He came from a priestly family, but his life was not meant to be that of a priest. He was chosen to be the voice of God. Then, God called him. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah 1:5. But Jeremiah was afraid. He felt he was too young for such a task. "Alas, sovereign Lord," I said, "I do not know how to speak. I am too young." However, God reassured him, "Do not say, 'I am too young.' I will put my words in your mouth. You will speak whatever I command you." And from that moment, Jeremiah's life was forever changed. A difficult mission, prophet of destruction. Jeremiah was not a prophet of comfort. He was sent to warn the kingdom of Judah about its coming destruction. He traveled from city to city proclaiming, "If you do not repent and turn back to God, Jerusalem will be destroyed by Babylon." But the people mocked him. The officials despised him. Even the king tried to silence him. Yet, despite persecution, imprisonment, and suffering, Jeremiah never gave up. He continued to proclaim God's message. And then, his prophecy came true. In 586 BC, the Babylonian army invaded Jerusalem. The city was burned, the temple was destroyed, and the people of Judah were taken captive. Jeremiah mourned for his people, but even in despair he carried a message of hope. A message of hope, God's promise. Though Jerusalem had fallen, God had not abandoned his people. Jeremiah prophesied that Israel would be exiled for 70 years, but they would return, and God would establish a new covenant. "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord. "Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. And just as Jeremiah had prophesied, after 70 years, the Israelites returned home, and God continued his covenant with them. Jeremiah's legacy. Today, the words of Jeremiah still echo through the centuries. He was a man who remained faithful to God, even in suffering. He was a man who spoke the truth, even when no one wanted to hear it. Above all, he was a symbol of faith and perseverance. God's promise in Jeremiah 29:11 was not just for Israel in ancient times, but for each of us today. No matter how difficult life may be, God has a plan for you, a plan for good, a future, and a hope. Trust in his plan. Like and share if this story inspired you.